Hello students, welcome to lecture number 15th of aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acid. As we know that at presently we are located on the chemical reactions of aldehyde and ketones. And as we know that 6 different categories of chemical reactions of an aldehyde and ketones, out of 6 we completed almost fourth, right? This is the fourth one. So three reactions that we have to complete it. First is the nucleophilic additions reaction. Then after nucleophilic additions reactions followed by the eliminations of water molecule, and third one is the reduction of aldehyde and ketone. Today we starts with oxidations of aldehyde and ketones. Okay. So in the case of oxidations of aldehyde and ketones, right? So oxidations of aldehyde and ketones gives the carboxylic acid. So first at presently I am at presently focused on oxidation of aldehyde. Oxidation of aldehyde. Because oxidation of aldehydes compared to ketone, it's easy in nature due to the oxidation number of carbonyl carbon is always plus 1 in the case of aldehyde. In the case of formaldehyde is 0, while the ketone having a plus 2 oxidation state, so it's tougher one. So oxidations of ketone requires a strong oxidizing agent, but oxidations of aldehyde always carried with the help of definitely weak as well as strong oxidizing agent. So aldehydes are easily oxidized to carboxylic acid. So once again R C double bond O H. They are easily oxidized into carboxylic acid. Okay. Containing the same number of carbon. There is no change in the carbon from aldehyde to carboxylic acid. कोई कार्बन की जो इसका काउंटिंग है उसमें कोई भी फर्क नहीं आएगा, right? The reason for this easy oxidation is due to the presence of this hydrogen atom on the carbonyl group, which can be converted into OH group without involving the cleavage of any other bond. Hence they are oxidized, do not by a strong oxidizing agent like HNO3 or potassium permanganate or K2Cr2O7. Definitely they are oxidized with the help of this strong oxidizing agent. Definitely they convert into carboxylic acid, but it's oxidized also by a weak oxidizing agents like a bromine water. For example, some weak oxidizing agent like bromine water, Ag+1, Cu+2, etc. So as a result, aldehyde act as a strong reducing agent, and they reduce. Number 1 is a Tollens reagent. 2. Metallic silver. It is also known as a silver mirror. Okay. And number 2 is a Fehling's solution. Or sometimes it's called as a Benedict's solution. To a red precipitous of Cu2O, means cuprous oxide. Once again, the reason for the oxidizing is due to the presence of hydrogen atom on the carbonyl group, which can be converted into OH without involving any cleavage of any other bond. Hence they are oxidized not only by the strong oxidizing agent like HNO3, KMNO4, K2Cr2O7, but it's also by a weak oxidizing agents like bromine water, Ag+1, Cu+2. So as a result, aldehyde act as a strong reducing agent, and they reduce Tollens reagent as well as Fehling's. So first we are focused on reduction of Tollens reagent. Reduction of Tollens reagent. So firstly we are moved to the, or sometimes this test is also known as a silver mirror test. Okay, this is nothing but it's a silver mirror test. So what we have to perform in the Tollens reagents? So first we have to take a Tollens reagent is an ammoniacal solution of silver nitrate. It's a ammoniacal solution of AgNO3, which is prepared. It's nothing but it's an ammoniacal solution of AgNO3. How we prepare this solution? So first we have to take a silver nitrate solution and we have to add a ammonium hydroxide solution, right? So till the PPTS of Ag2O first form, when they are reacts of first, it's converted into Ag2O, then 2 mole of ammonium nitrate and water is released. Here the balancing is like that. Okay, so it's a one type of gray PPTS. So once again, Tollens solution is prepared by adding NH4OH. This NH4OH solution to silver nitrate solutions till the first PPTS of Ag2O first form just redissolves. Now this Ag2O is further reacts with ammonium hydroxide, so it's converted into Tollens reagent. It's a one type of coordinating compound or complex compound, right? Plus H2O. This is Tollens reagent. This is nothing but it's a Tollens reagent. Okay. Now, when an aldehyde is heated with a Tollens reagent, so now we have to take aldehyde RCHO. When it reacts with this Tollens reagent Ag, NH3 twice plus, okay, with a Tollens reagent, the latter is reduced to metallic silver, which deposited on the wall of the test tube as a bright silver mirror during this test. Okay, so how the reactions which can be gone? So RCOO minus plus twice Ag. So this Ag is deposited on the wall of the test tube so that's why it's called as a silver mirror test. Plus 4 mole of ammonia and water is released. So the silver thus deposited shines like a mirror. Hence this test is called as a silver mirror test. This is nothing but it's a silver mirror test. Okay, so both here in this case, both aliphatic and aromatic, aldehyde reduce Tollens reagent. I think so. You have a better idea about the Tollens. So sometimes they ask the short notes in your board examinations. Write a short note on Tollens reagent or write a short notes on a silver mirror test. Okay. So at that time you have to perform this type of the test and you have to write all these details regarding to the Tollens test. So next test is a reduction of Fehling solution. So in this case, reductions of Fehling solution. Okay, Fehling solution is an alkaline solution of copper sulfate containing some Rochelle salt. Once again, Fehling solution is an alkaline solution of copper sulfate containing sulfate containing some Rochelle salt. Rochelle salt. What is the meaning of Rochelle salt? The meaning of Rochelle salt is nothing but it's a Pheling B solution. Rochelle salt is a sodium, potassium tartarate. Sodium, potassium tartarate, and is prepared by adding alkaline solution of Rochelle salt. Alkaline solution of Rochelle salt, which is also called as a Pheling B. It's called as a Pheling B. So once again, there are two different types of solution. One is called as a Pheling A. So Pheling A is a copper sulfate solution, and this is Pheling B. Pheling B. Okay, so Pheling B is a solution of a Rochelle salt. Okay, so now we have to add these solutions, equal solutions into aldehyde. So first the copper hydroxides first form, which is redissolves to form a clear deep blue solution. Okay, so when we perform these reactions, when RCHO reacts with this Pheling A and Pheling B, these are the ions from Pheling solution, right? Okay, so when we have to give the heat, so it's converted into RCOO minus Cu2O plus 3 mole of H2O, right? So it's a carboxylate ion, and this is cuprox oxide or red precipitous we get. यहाँ पे जैसे आपको रेड प्रेसिपिटेस मिलता है तो हम पहचान सकते हैं कि ये जो कंपाउंड है वो कौन सा कंपाउंड होगा, ये aldehyde कंपाउंड है, right? But we know that in this case aromatic aldehydes however do not reduce. यहाँ पे एक थोड़ा उसका ड्रॉबैक क्या है, aromatic aldehydes however do not reduce Pheling solution, right? ये इसका तीसरा भी एक है, वो है वही है जो ऊपर वाला हम दिखा रहे हैं, वही है, which is the reduction of Benedict's solution. ये जो Pheling और बेनेडिक्ट्स में कोई इतना बढ़िया जो डिफरेंस है वो 19-20 का ही जो डिफरेंस है, जैसे हम बोल रहे हैं वही है. What is the difference between? So in the stated above, this Pheling solution is an alkaline solution of Cu plus 2 ion complexed with tartaric ion, but Benedict solutions on the other hand is an alkaline solution of Cu plus 2 ions complex with citrate ions. So it reacts in the same way as a Pheling solution. So what's the only difference is here sodium, potassium, citrate. The only difference here, sodium potassium tartarate, while here we have to take a sodium potassium citrate. Once again, as stated above, this Pheling solution is an alkaline solution of Cu plus 2 ion which is complex with the tartrate ions. But in the case of Benedict solutions, on the other hand, is an alkaline solution of Cu plus 2 ions which is definitely complex with the only difference is the citrate ions. But it reacts in the same way as by the Pheling solutions. So this is all about the oxidations of aldehydes. Now we move to the next portion, is the oxidation of ketones. Okay. So in the case of oxidations of ketones, okay, once again, oxidation of ketones. We know that unlike aldehyde, ketones do not contain any hydrogen atom attached to carbonyl group. Hence, they cannot be oxidized without the cleavage of some carbon-carbon bond. So ketone cannot be oxidized by weak oxidizing agents such as Tollens reagent and Fehling reagents. So these reagents are therefore used for distinguishing aldehydes from ketone. अगर हमें aldehyde और ketone जैसे हमने दिया हुआ है तो हम क्या करेंगे कि ये aldehyde है तो हमें Tollens टेस्ट है या Fehling टेस्ट है वो aldehyde ही देगा क्योंकि वो weak oxidizing agent है तो aldehyde weak oxidizing agent के साथ प्रोसेस कर लेता है लेकिन ketone के साथ नहीं करता है. So it means that oxidations of ketones with a strong oxidizing agent, यहाँ पे strong oxidizing agent ही मुझे लेना पड़ेगा. तो जैसे मैं यहाँ पे आपको दिखा रहा हूँ oxidation with strong oxidizing agent, right? So ketones can be easily oxidized by strong oxidizing agents such as concentrated HNO3, okay, acidic KMNO4, acidic K2Cr2O7, etc. During these oxidations, right, a rupture of the carbon-carbon bond occurs in the either side of the keto group, giving a mixture of carboxylic acid, each containing the lesser number of carbon atoms than the original ketones. यहाँ पे क्या दिक्कत है, जैसे मैं आपको यहाँ पे दिखा रहा हूँ एक एग्जांपल के साथ हम देखते हैं. जैसे मेरे पास है यहाँ पे CH3 है, this is C double bond O, this is CH2CH3. We know that the name of this compound is pentane 2-on. If we react this compound with the help of concentrated HNO3, सेम वे यहाँ से भी मैं आपको दोनों इसका जो प्रोबेबिलिटी है वो मैं आपको दिखा रहा हूँ. कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड HNO3 यहाँ पे क्या होगा, जैसे देखिए यहाँ पे कार्बोनिल ग्रुप डज नॉट कंटेन और कार्बोनिल कार्बन डज नॉट हैविंग हाइड्रोजन. लाइकवाइज इन द केस ऑफ एल्डिहाइड यहाँ पे हमें दिखाई नहीं दे तो क्या होगा, यहाँ पे क्लीवेज हो सकता है, यहाँ पे टूट सकता है या यहाँ पे भी टूट सकता है. तो दो प्रोबेबिलिटी है. जैसे मैं यहाँ पे बता रहा हूँ ये A प्रोबेबिलिटी है और ये B प्रोबेबिलिटी है. जैसे हम पहले A से देखें तो यहाँ से हम यानी कि यहाँ से हम ब्रेक करेंगे. देखिए यहाँ पे हमने तोड़ दिया है तो ये पोर्शन और ये पोर्शन अलग हो जाएगा, राइट. सो मैं अभी आपको A क्लीवेज का ही मैं आपको यहाँ पे दिखा रहा हूँ. जैसे A क्लीवेज है, राइट. तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा, तो मुझे दो कंपाउंड यहां से मिल जाएंगे ना. फर्स्ट है मेरे पास CH3COOH और दूसरा मेरे पास है CH3CH2COOH. और ये जो दोनों प्रोडक्ट मुझे मिल रहे हैं ना वो मेजर प्रोडक्ट है, मेजर प्रोडक्ट्स है, राइट. यहां से B से मैं जो जिसका इसका क्लियरेज करूंगा तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा, तो मुझे दो कंपाउंड मिलेंगे. जैसे मेरे पास है CH3CH2CH2COOH मिलेगा फर्स्ट वन, इट्स अ ब्यूटेरिक एसिड. और दूसरा मुझे क्या मिलेगा, फॉर्मिक एसिड. लेकिन फॉर्मिक एसिड में जो कार्बोनिल कार्बन का जो नंबर है वो 2 पे ही है तो उसका फर्दर ऑक्सीडेशन हो जाएगा ये फॉर्मिक एसिड का, सिंपल फॉर्मिक एसिड का. सो वो कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा CO2 और H2O में, ठीक है. बट ये जो प्रोडक्ट मुझे मिल रहा है यहाँ पे वो मुझे माइनर है. तो यानी जैसे मेरे पास असिमेट्रिक कीटोन है तो उसमें क्लीवेज की दो प्रोबेबिलिटीज है, राइट. तो मैंने अभी भी बोला हुआ था कि ड्यूरिंग दिस ऑक्सीडेशंस, राइट, there is a clearage of the carbon-carbon bonds occurs on either side of the ketone group, giving a mixture of carboxylic acid, and each containing a lesser number of carbon atoms than the original ketones. ये आपने यहाँ पे एक बार मैंने ये लिखा है. बट अभी क्या हुआ इसमें, क्यों ऐसा हुआ, ये मेजर है और ये माइनर है. So in case of these unsymmetrical ketones such as butane 2-on or this pentane 2-on, etc., the keto group which is stays preferentially with the smaller alkyl group. तो यहाँ पे जो कीटो ग्रुप है ना वो स्मॉलर आर्कल. तो ये जो मुझे मिलेगा आपको मालूम, जैसे मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ कि मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये मेजर है और ये. अब देखिए यहाँ पे क्लीवेज है, दोनों क्लीवेज है. जैसे मैं यहाँ पे क्लीवेज करता हूँ एक क्लीवेज तो जो छोटा वाला मिथाइल है ना वो कार्बोनिल के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है तो वो मेजर होगा. यहाँ से क्लीवेज करूंगा तो बड़ा वाला कार्बोनिल के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है. ये जो रूल्स है ना वो जो रूल्स है उसको पोपॉप्स रूल कहते हैं, पोपॉप्स रूल. इस रूल में क्या बताया हुआ है कि इन केस ऑफ unsymmetrical ketones such as, जैसे मैंने यहां पे बताया हुआ है, पेंटेन 2 on, ब्यूटेन 2 on, राइट. कीटो ग्रुप stays preferentially with the smaller alkyl group. ये आपको पोपोव्स रूल से पता चल जाएगा, राइट. तो मैंने आपको जो बताया हुआ था, तो मुझे जो इसका जो क्लीवेज मिल रहा था, तो वो मुझे इस तरह से मिल रहा है. However, in the case of symmetrical ketones, only one mode of cleavage occurs. जैसे मेरे पास कोई ऐसा कीटोन है, जैसे मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, in the case of CH3 C डबल बॉन्ड O CH3 है. अगर मैं उसका ऑक्सीडेशन K2Cr2O7 H2SO4 यानी एसिडिक K2Cr2O7 से मैं जो करना चाहूंगा, तो मुझे मिलेगा फर्स्ट वन इज एसिटिक एसिड एंड रिमेनिंग इज ऑल्सो एसिटिक. जो देखिए रिमेनिंग मुझे फॉर्मिक एसिड मिल जाएगा, राइट. लेकिन ये फॉर्मिक एसिड का फर्दर ऑक्सीडाइज हो के वो H2O और CO2 में चला जाएगा. तो मुझे यही है, क्योंकि आप यहां से करेंगे या यहां से करेंगे, दोनों सिमेट्रिक ही है, तो कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं है. तो वी कैन नॉट यूज अ पोपोव्स रूल इन द केस ऑफ दिस रिएक्शन. सो मैंने आपको अभी तक जो कीटोन का ऑक्सीडेशन है और ये समझाया हुआ है. अभी एक और ऑक्सीडेशन मेरा बाकी है विद द हेल्प ऑफ ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ मिथाइल कीटोन विद द हेल्प ऑफ सोडियम हाइपोहैलाइड. वो ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ कीटोन्स की अंडर में ही आता है, लेकिन वो मैं आपको नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में वो समझाऊंगा. थैंक यू.